Good morning to all of you who have come to worship with us today. And a very special welcome to Lori Scheinvold, Executive Director of Hannah Pantry, who has come to share more details from Hannah Pantry. Many of you know her already, I think, because you've worked with Hannah Pantry. I learned to know her first when her daughter Sophia started kindergarten. Also welcome to Mary. I just got to say hello to her. She is Ruthie Miller's sister, and you can tell that by her smile, so make sure you get a chance to greet Mary today. As you know, Pastor Enton is at annual conference already. There are activities prior to the conference, which starts Wednesday. He's their tech person, and Mary's on standing committee. I will be joining them on Wednesday because I am your delegate. I'll be there Wednesday through Sunday. And next Sunday's worship does include a streaming of a service from annual conference. We're using the one that includes Josiah Ludwig doing part of the preaching. Josiah is the associate pastor at Harrisburg First Church, a good friend of Neil Stroop, and a competitor back in the day when we did volleyball marathons. So, yeah. Are there other announcements that folks want to share? Cheryl Faber has one.
Nancy isn't here, so I'm serving as her delegate today. We had one of the largest pancake number of volunteers ever yesterday, which was a really, really good thing because about 5 after 10, we were swamped, to say the least, swamped, and it lasted for an hour and a half. We served 439 meals.
Wow.
The number of volunteers, I have to make sure I tell you this because occasionally people forget to sign in and sign out. And I'm going to make sure that Lori has that in her speech today to tell you why that is so important, that you also include all that information. And just like you, Linda, I've known Lori for a long, long time because her sister is the same age as Janelle. So I remember Lori growing up and when two girls played softball. So it's been a long time. Not Lori. It was... Oh, you did play softball too? Okay, she did too. Yeah, okay.
I would have you make sure you check the easel. I see an announcement from Tiger that he's starting some classes and inviting us to come at a 50% lower rate. So I think that starts in 2 weeks. Thank you also to all of you who have supported the Backpack Project. We're going to Greensboro, North Carolina for our annual conference, and that is a project of theirs. And as I speak, more backpacks are coming into the back. And I've placed a bunch of them up here. It's the Ministry of Greensboro, so we as conference delegates are supporting that. And thank you for all the support. There will be, as I see, 24 that I deliver on to conference. Yes, Chrissy.
Sorry, Joe had me muted. This is Chrissy at the soundboard. I wanted to share a word of welcome. We've got several people with us on Zoom this morning, including our friends from Maine, although I tried to tell them they were in Canada. Our friends from Maine and the Brights, so we welcome extra members along with us virtually. Welcome all.
As you know, we have started our summer fellowship. We hope you can join us for that following worship. So now let us begin our worship with today's scripture theme from Isaiah chapter 58, verse 7. Share your food with the hungry and open your homes to the homeless poor. Give clothes to those who have nothing to wear, and do not refuse to help your own relatives. In addition, there's a thought for reflection printed in your bulletin. The capacity to help our brothers and sisters in need is a measure of our humanity. Hunger is not abstract, it has a human face. Please rise for our call to worship. In both the Old and New Testaments, God calls us to feed the hungry. We all fill our driveway blessing box with the groceries for those in need. A core Christian principle is caring for those in need. We support the food distribution at Hannah's Pantry for those struggling to feed their families. Caring for those less fortunate is a fundamental aspect of faith and compassion. We provide pancakes to feed both bodies and souls. Let us pray. Open our eyes, Lord, that we might see the needs of others. Open our hands, Lord, that we might share your abundance with our hungry brothers and sisters. Open our hearts, Lord, that we might truly love as you have loved us. Teach us, Lord, to bless others as you have so richly blessed us. Amen. With gratitude for all we have received, we share our time, our skills, and our money, and so doing, we share God's love and blessings with others. Know that you can place your offering in the box at the back of our sanctuary and/or offer offerings by mailing them to the church office. Let us pray. Great and awesome God, we give you our gifts and offerings with gratitude for what we have received. May our gifts nurture us spiritually and support those in need. We ask your blessing as well on the ministries these offerings support. Amen. There's a hymn. What a beautiful hymn. I was not really familiar with that one. We come to the time of sharing our stories of God sightings, joys, and concerns. So I'll turn it over to you for that.
This is Carrie. I have a joy to report this morning. Involved a God sighting. Our son and his family were slightly overcome with gas this week. Fortunately, the babysitter happened to come in and smelled gas in the house in the morning and called 911. But fortunately, everybody was okay. There was no health effects. Fortunately, the babysitter got there at an appropriate time, or a good time, and we're very thankful that she did. Thank you.
It's Diane, and I have a joy that I'd like to share with you. I'm having an open house August 9th. It's a Saturday, and it's to welcome our daughter, her husband, and baby girl. First time for them in the country, and I'm excited, and I hope you can join us. It's a Saturday in the afternoon, and come for a short time, come for a long time. Even if you don't know Jana, our daughter, you're welcome to come. And I'll share our address in a bulletin. Thank you.
This is Jack. I just want to had a great joy last Sunday when a lot of the folks in the church came over and shared Christopher's open house. It was overwhelming with the amount of people and the gifts that were brought. We survived the heat. I didn't know that many people could get into one little building, but they did. And a good time was had by all. Also, I have a concern. A friend of ours, his name is Tim Yinkst. He got hurt at home and has done some damage to his leg that they're working on right at the moment. So if you'll pray for Tim Yinkst.
I'm just going to tack on a little extra joy. We had 2 unexpected visitors at our party. They are granddaughters to some of our siblings, and so kind of distant cousins to Harmony. And she's at that age of mine kind of thing, and we tried to teach her kindness and model friendship. And we had 2 little girls who showed it in action. Avery and Katrina are a little bit older than Harmony, but I said, girls, would you like to come into the toy room? And they walked in there and their eyes just got big. And I thought, there's toys are too little for them, but no, they were excited to be in the toy room. And before the door closed, one of them says, can that little girl come in and play? So they invited Harmony in to play with them. And it was just so cool to see her finding friends and see little girls modeling what it means to be a good friend. So it was an unexpected little joy.
This is Chrissy. I want to thank you all for your prayers for Baguette, our puppy dog. She came through her surgery this week just fine. And in fact, contrary to popular belief, spaying does not change her energy level at all. So thank you for that. I also thank those of you who brought me paper towel rolls and toilet paper rolls this morning. I don't know that I said it last week, so if you do have them and are willing to keep them, I can take them up through July 12th because our camp starts the 13th. So thank you so much for helping me to recycle instead of purchasing things like that for our crafts during our summer camp. So thank you so much for your thoughts and prayers.
This is Brenda, and I guess more just some God sightings. I mean, yesterday a pancake breakfast. I mean, I really did enjoy it. I got myself out of bed. Keith got there earlier than me, but I mean, I enjoyed the camaraderie, the friendship, the teasing, the joking, and I mean, that was a joy. I mean, as well as serving people, but it was good and getting to know people better. I just appreciate that. And last night we got out of our comfort zone and went with the Brights to Mount Gretna Tabernacle to listen to a classic rock cover band. But I mean, it was just good to get out with friends and enjoy. And you said, and what for me? No, but Sarah had her wisdom teeth out this week. It all went well. Keith had the brunt of that duty, but it went well, and she's fine.
I'd like for people to pray for the children and the disfortunate people in our country. With Medicaid cuts, a lot of people aren't going to be able to get their SNAP money. And working in the field that I did in mental health, many of my clients were on medical assistance and needed the SNAP monies, especially in early intervention when I worked with children. There are many families that I worked with that used SNAP money and needed it to provide for their kids. So I just ask for people to be concerned about that and to pray for some resolution to that.
If there are no others, let us pray together. Dear God, as we gather to worship, we acknowledge your majesty and greatness. We are reminded that it is a privilege to come before you as a community of believers. We ask that you search our hearts and cleanse us from anything that hinders our relationship with you. And today, we acknowledge the many gifts we have received and are thankful for the ministry at Hannah Pantry and ministries here at Ridgeway that help us to share our abundance with others. We also lift in prayer those who are in need, comfort for Tim Yinkst, care for children affected by changes in medical assistance. We also rejoice in knowing that a problem with gas was averted. Granddaughters learning about friendship and caring, celebrating a new home together with friends. We're excited with Diane for the anticipated visit of her daughter and granddaughter and son-in-law from Nairobi. Grateful for successful wisdom tooth surgery and puppy surgery. We are also happy to have opportunities to serve others with our pancake breakfast and what that does for us as well. Use us, Lord, as instruments of your grace and compassion to those in need. For all these things we name, and for things that are not named, we ask for your guidance and strength so we may carry with us the message of love and hope. Amen. Our scripture reading is from Psalms chapter 146, 7 to 10 verses. He always keeps his promises. He judges in favor of the oppressed and gives food to the hungry. The Lord sets prisoners free and gives sight to the blind. He lifts those who have fallen. He loves his righteous people. He protects the strangers who live in our land. He helps widows and orphans, but takes the wicked to their ruin. The Lord is King forever. Your God, O Zion, will reign for all time. Praise the Lord. And now we are eager to hear from Lori.
Well, good morning, everybody. Figure out where to stick my water here so that I don't knock it over. I tend to talk with my hands, so. First, do I need to do anything up here technology-wise right now? I'm good if I'm not sharing a screen? Okay, great. Thank you for having me back. I've been here, I think this is the third time, officially the third time that I've had the wonderful opportunity to speak to you all. We have cultivated such a, I don't even know what word to describe. It's amazing, it's wonderful, it's cool, it's unique, the relationship that the pantry has with Ridgeway. You are some of the most giving and caring partners that we have, and also some of the most frequent, probably the most frequent, as you open your doors here once a month, and not only give of your time, but obviously there is a financial component that goes to what you do, and we just couldn't be more thankful. And our members, those that you're feeding, those that we're feeding, they so appreciate it. It's always a delight when I see the pancake boxes in their car when they're coming through the line, or I say to them, oh, I see you don't have any pancakes in your car, don't forget to go, and they say, we always go after so we can go home and eat them when they're hot. So, or we see the folks that walk across the parking lot and that come over here and know that they've got enough time to come over and enjoy their pancakes before they go through the line. So it's just really neat that they all have their own little way to do it. And it's particularly fun to see the new members, those that haven't been to the pantry distribution before, to learn that, once a month it actually comes with breakfast too. So it's just, I don't know how to thank you all enough. I just truly, from the bottom of my heart, that you are just an absolute wonderful addition to what we do. And we put it in every single grant we write, and we tell everybody about you guys. And you're really you're a true partner to what we do. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all for that. So. That having been said, properly introduce myself. I am Lori Scheinvold, the Executive Director of Hannah's Pantry. Some call me the Circus Master. Some call me the lady behind the scenes. There's lots and lots of names for me because I have a touch of ADHD, just a touch. And I think that actually is one of my strengths, that I can, run around. If you haven't been to the pantry before for a distribution, I do have some videos today. So I learned the last time I was here that I could have brought videos and I could have brought things. So I brought lots of things to sort of give you what I'm calling a behind-the-scenes look. So for those of you that don't know us or haven't been quite familiar to exactly what we do, we call ourselves an outdoor or a drive-through outdoor grocery distribution with choice options. So it's definitely a mouthful, but it does speak to the fact that we are the most diverse school district in the state, very high in the country as well. And so we've got lots and lots of different cultures and lots of different food needs. And this gives us the ability to allow families to select just what they need for their families. So we have 10 to 15 stops down the road between the buildings at the high school, and families stop at these stations and they can select from several choices what they need. If it's a vegetarian family, they're not going to take the canned tuna, they're going to take the canned beans. Or maybe they do take the canned tuna, but if they're pescatarian, they're going to take the beans. So we always make sure that there is something for everyone there. Even down to the fact that if we have Rice Krispie treats on the line, that we make sure there's an alternative, because our Muslim families can't eat marshmallow. So we really try to try very hard to make sure that everyone has an option for them. So what I thought we would do is there anybody here that is not at all familiar with the pantry? I assume you all have in some capacity. Okay, great. So what I want to do is bear with me for a second on the technology. I'm on Zoom here, so I'm going to try and share the screens on Zoom that I'm going to show you. So it might take me a minute. Technology has sort of...
Make sure to share your sound, too.
Okay. I don't think we're gonna have too much sound. Unfortunately, you're just gonna have to hear me. So the first thing I wanna do is show you a flyby. I'm gonna show you a drone footage of the pantry. It's actually pretty cool. So let me get this just right here. So I'm gonna share. Let's see, do I need to put the video up first probably? Yeah, give me 1 second here. Oops, all right, I'm gonna put this up. And hopefully it won't start yet. Oops. Back here, do a share. All right, did I do it? Let's see. Did it work? Coming? All right, let's see. Okay, here we go. So all of the cars that are there in the parking lot, kind of where the bus is, we fill that parking lot one time and then another half time. So basically, with 6 complete sets of spaces there get filled up. So the bus was an unexpected perk here, I guess, when we did this video. But you can see the different rows of traffic. The cars that are coming towards the bus there are families that are being directed. It's kind of hard to see, but there are traffic volunteers down there at several points, kind of just showing them where to go. You can see, whoop. But this has taken on a life of its own for sure. We started out with 1 person directing traffic, and then there's 2, and now we have what we call our traffic director. So he stands up here, and what happens is he releases the cars. So when they come in, they get parked sort of in a serpentine style like this. Can you see my mouse? Oh, you can't see my mouse. Well, can you? Okay. So they come in, and this is the first person here in line. They get there before I do. I get there about 6:30, and that person is already there in line. As a matter of fact, half of this row is already filled by the time I get there at 6:30. And we think it is for several reasons. Some of them, they are at a point in their life that they're that worried about getting food that they feel that they need to get there first in line to make sure they get enough. And that's sort of heart-wrenching. Because we always have enough food for everyone. But some of them come because it's a sense of community. There's 6 or 7 of them that just get out and talk and hang out. We have a couple people that tell us it's their place of worship. It's the only quiet they get during the week. They come and they sit quietly for 2 or 3 hours, and that is it's their church. So it's kind of interesting. But so we do a serpentine style. So we kind of fill the rows like this the whole way down. And then what happens is at 10 o'clock, once we are ready to start down here at the line, we have somebody that releases them. But before they're released, where is it? Down here. Can you see this little red spot right here? Yeah, that is my registration team. So what has happened before 10 o'clock is that there's 4 people that run around with their iPad, and they say, "Good morning, what's your last name?" And if they have been to the pantry before, they're in our system, and we have their last name. And when we find them in our system, they have a number that's associated with that family, and we have a whole set of cards. I think we're up to number 1,400 now. We're up to our 1,400 person that's been registered, and it's a plastic card that I'll show you on the cards here then, and it goes on their windshield, and it tells us their family size, and then we'll talk about that. Well, I can actually show you in a second here. So we have 6 different family sizes, but what that does is help our volunteers out in terms of knowing what food to give them. So that goes on their windshield here. We'll talk about that in a minute. Everyone has to register once a year. So that is a process that we go through every single week. And it actually starts again on Tuesday, July 1st. So everybody must register once a year and fill out new forms, no matter what. So it's a pretty labor-intensive administrative process we start. Everybody is considered new July 1st. So the fun begins for us here. So anyway, so once 10 o'clock hits, we start releasing them one at a time down this lane. And Russ and Tony over here can certainly tell you that it is fun when they come down the lane, isn't it? These 2 volunteer all the time now. It's awesome to have them come over and check it out or be helpful. But they go down by family size for the most part. So we try to put the food on one side for smaller families and the larger families on the other side. So I'm going to stop sharing here and talk about some of those numbers, because never in my life did I ever think that I would deal with numbers as much as I do. Math was my least favorite subject, ever. And if you told me 20 years ago that that would be what I did every day of my life, I would not have believed you, not at all. So to talk a little bit about that, let me see if I can move my screen around here. Good. I was hoping you can't see what I'm doing here. So we talk about, this is how we talk about, let's see, I got to share here again. Where'd that go? I'm going to share my screen with this one. Hopefully it'll pop up. Here we go. Okay. So this is how we figure out how to plan. So this is my life now. I talk about things in terms of S, A, B, C, D, or short term as 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4. So somebody was by the pantry the other day and we were talking. He said, "You guys talking code? What are you talking about? 1, 1, 2, 2." So what that means is we are trying to figure out just how much food we need. So it's one of those things behind the scenes that nobody really thinks about, right? So this is an S family, A, B, C, D, E. So these numbers represent a guesstimate, and then we've gotten pretty good at this, a guesstimate of the number of families in that family size that are going to come to a distribution. So we expect about 35 families that are single household. So they have an S card. We expect about 45 families that have 2 people in their household. B's and C's are our largest. These are families of 3 to 4 and 5 to 6. A D household has 7 to 8 people in their house. And E, I like to call them our extra large families, have 9 or more. This is up to, I think our largest family has 14 people in their household. So we expect about 5 of those people for a total of about 365 families. So how does that translate into my everyday number life? So we have to figure out how much do we need to put out on every pallet. So if we have a grain pallet, which this week I think had rice, it had corn tortilla shells, and we also had pancake mix, actually. So a third, and a third of 365, but we have to do it by family size because that's what makes us unique. So an S family doesn't get as much as an E family would get. So the numbers game begins to get really fun. So those pallets, the choice ones, are a little more difficult because we can't really guess who's going to take what. So we really try to have an assortment out there. But milk is something that I can really explain in a lot more, in clearer terms here. Actually, let's do eggs. Let's do eggs because it's a smaller number. So eggs, these numbers down here represent 1 for an S, 1 for an A, 1 for B, 2 for a C, 2 for a D, 2 for an E. So if we're planning to give each of the small families, S, A, B, 1 dozen eggs, and we're going to give all the larger families 2 dozen eggs, I need 540 dozen eggs. That's just for one Saturday. So multiply that by 2, multiply that out for a month, and then by 12. It's a lot of eggs. And we do the same thing for milk. So the fun game is that egg prices and milk prices change constantly. Milk prices change every month based on the dairy board. So in terms of budgeting for all these things, last year we really did not do a great job because then eggs were $1 a dozen. So just a little behind the scenes on the food purchasing piece and thinking about it. But you can multiply this out by 15 stations of food, and get a small peek at sort of the crazy fun we do here. So I'm going to share one other screen then. So let's see if I can, I'm going to stop sharing here and show you the food now. So we're going to go over to, where's my board picture? The board, okay. I'm going to open this guy up and share one more time here. Okay, so how do we figure out what food we're going to serve? All right, can you see this one, maybe? There we go. Okay, I may have to zoom in on this one here. Let me get this one bigger. Is that easier? Can you see any of those words there? No? All right, let's see if I can zoom in a way here. Ooh, oh, too much. Whoa, okay. Any better? Oh. Let's go a little bigger. Wow. Okay, I'm just going to tell you. Good idea, Linda. There we go. So this is our whiteboard. I like to call this, this is sort of the brain behind the pantry. So we work 3 distributions at a time because we order our food from the central, 90% of our food comes from the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank. We've been an agency member since back in the day of Mary Ollie, so we have retained one of the old numbers. I get the fun game because I have a little ADHD, like I said. I constantly have the food bank inventory up on my computer. And their inventory can change every hour. When people donate a pallet of something in, they put it up on the site. When the USDA food comes in, which is free for us to get, that goes up on the site. So it's a fun game. Like, ooh, what do we have this week, you know? So I can put my order in on Tuesday mornings at 11. And that delivery that I put in then comes every Friday. So every Friday morning, we get a delivery over there. And depending on how good the week was, we get 1, sometimes 2 trucks. So we're up to about 40,000 pounds of food that comes in and out of our doors a month. So that's a lot of food. It's a lot of food. It's about 750 families a month that food is going to. But because the inventory changes constantly and we just have to figure out how to manage this, what we've come up with is this planning for 3 distributions at a time. So we have 2 distributions at a month, and this is the board that you can't see as well as I would like you to. Here we go. So there you go. So this was June. This was the distribution we just did. And these magnets on here actually represent the stops down the distribution line. So we have a template, we call it. So we have a template. We have a canned protein palette, a grain palette. We do a canned fruit and a canned vegetable. We do a sweet, a salty. There's also what you can't see down there is always the fresh produce that changes all the time. We have frozen meat every time. We serve 2 frozen proteins. And we always serve milk. We always serve eggs. We try to alternate between cheese and butter. And then because our mission statement is nutritious foods and essential items, what we try and do is every other distribution, actually it probably lands on Pancake Breakfast Day, we try to serve a non-food item each distribution. So it might be paper plates, but it also might be something like deodorant. Because on SNAP and the programs that we have, they're called SNAP. It's food assistance. It's not essential items assistance. It's not you can get toilet paper and toothpaste and things like that you need to live. It's food. So we try and alternate each distribution serving something along those lines. We try to call it like sort of a paper product or a hygiene product. I think coming up we're going to do, I think we've just finally gathered enough laundry detergent to do that. So. Oh, my connection is unstable. Uh-oh, you okay back there? Okay, so this board changes based on what we get in during the week. So if I come over here, can you see these use by dates? So what we do is, that's the other fun part. This inventory comes and goes, right? But it'll say tortilla chips. Great. So I know that I have to order 540 bags to give the small families 1, the big families 2. But what I don't know is what the sell-by date is on those. So the food bank's not going to give it to us and sell it to us if it's not okay to eat. Certainly true, but a lot of families don't know that is the manufacturer's perfect date. So if the sell-by date is today, if you eat it tomorrow, is it going to taste terrible? No. Is it going to be bad for you? No. So we've got a safety list, and the majority of the food is good months beyond the date that's on it. So, but what we try to do is make sure that we're serving it in sort of by the date. So the sooner that it's going to be past its sell-by date, it's going to go out sooner on our list of 3 distributions. So what we keep track of is the sweet and salty and everything on here. We keep track of the dates. So if we get tortilla chips in and we're expecting to serve them for this distribution, but the pretzels came in this week and they're going to go up past dates sooner, we're going to move the tortilla chips over on the whiteboard, which is erase it, move it to the next distribution, and slide the pretzels in there. So it gets to be a fun little game like that. Fun. I'm trying to keep track of my time here. All right, so let's look at some more fun things we have here. Let's go down to what it looks like to go through the drive-thru. I've got a video of one of our members driving down. They took it in the snow, so it's a little, not seasonal, but you'll get the idea. Let me go in here, I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, give me 1 second. Oh, I have to share my audio this time too, right? turn my audio on. All right, is it sharing? We're going to share this. All right. How do I share my audio? Oh, hold on. Audio on? Okay. Oh, if I turn the audio on, that's going to... I won't talk. Let's see if this works. Oh. You can't hear it at all, can you?
We are all vaccinated and booster. Yep. Thank you so much. Thank you, you too. Stay safe.
It's a little hard with the feed here. It's not going as smoothly as mine. But you get the idea. What you're not hearing behind the scenes is this super friendly. Oh, here's Bob.
And ground beef. Sounds good. And broccoli. Perfect.
Yes, so super friendly volunteers. Okay, I would like to stay muted. Okay, sorry, back and forth here. So that's what, just a little look down the, I'm hearing myself back here. Here we go, is that better? A little look down the distribution line. Other fun things I had to show you was the scope video, but I'm looking at my time here and I'm getting a little long, I think, huh? It's okay, it's okay. One video I did want to show you was that from our 5th anniversary. So we unbelievably have been around we're in our 6th year, and a proud partner of the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank, obviously. Joe Arthur wasn't able to attend our 5th anniversary, but a couple of you were there, right? Yeah, a couple of you were there. Joe Arthur had some other things going on, but he is the CEO of the food bank, and he did a wonderful video for our 1st anniversary, and he couldn't be there for the 5th anniversary, but he did make a video for us. So I think when the CEO of an organization that covers 26 counties and is sort of a shining star in the country makes a video for you, you like to show it around. So I like to show this around. So I'm going to put this one up, and hopefully we can get some sound on this one. Otherwise, it's not as. Oh no. My internet stable. Maybe I won't be able to show this one at all. Let's see. Oh no. Are we going to be able to do sound back there? Is there anything I can do to?
We're trying to adapt as it plays.
Okay. All right. So let's try this. Let's see if this will work. So. I am going to share this and cross my fingers. Hold on. All right, it's giving me an error message, but we're going to try it anyway. How's that sound? I don't know why it's giving me an error message. Oh, well, maybe we won't be able to show this one. How about this one? All right. Well, I'll tell you what, that one isn't running, right? So I'm going to do what I do, which is pivot. Let's see if I can get this one too. Huh. I'm going to show you the one that Joe did for our 1st anniversary. How's that sound? Because if anything, I can pivot. Let's do it that way. I don't know what's happening. It's been my joke that every time I have an event, there is a technology issue, no matter what I do. I'm sort of the techie one around, and it doesn't matter what happens. Even at the 5th anniversary, I was at Capitol Blue Cross. They were a huge, wonderful host. I was over there the day before. We tested it. It was fine. I tested it before the event. I've got all these people around this room, and it didn't work. And it was great. So it is all in every single anniversary event we've had. I've had a technology failure. So this is just part of the course. It's just who I am, and we just roll with it. I'll do something else. It's all right. And this is why I can run the crazy pantry, because we'll just do something else. It doesn't work. It's fine. It's fine.
You can blame it on us, it's fine.
No, I would not do that. This is my, I don't even know what you call it. This is me. Okay, here we go. Can you see him? All right, let's see if you can hear him now. Okay, here we go. Nope. It's yelling me to turn up the volume. All right, let's see if I can do that.
I'm Joe Arthur, Executive Director.
Nothing.
Our partnership has grown from the efforts of Mary Oley, a school nurse at Holtzman Elementary School,
At all?
almost 18 years ago, on through years.
All right, let's see. Oh,
Lori, John, Lori, and Susan, and all of the
You heard
friends
it
of
all?
the Hannah Pantry. I'm sorry I can't be with you today, but please accept our warmest congratulations from your friends and proud partners at the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank. I'm Joe Arthur, Executive Director. Our partnership has grown from the efforts of Mary Oley, a school nurse at Holtzman Elementary School, almost 18 years ago, on through years of growth and innovation and excellence. That has culminated in award-winning Hannah Pantry, filled by volunteers, innovation, and love, right in the next 4 years. I believe the first sharing of food at the new Hannah Pantry last October served about 50 families. And now this October, almost 280 families are expected. And Hannah Pantry continued to serve with excellence during COVID-19, providing, as always, fresh produce, meat, eggs, milk and dairy, and all of the typical shelf-stable healthy foods. So thank you, leaders and friends of the Hannah Food Pantry, for continuing to serve with excellence and empathy one of the most diverse communities in all of Pennsylvania. Thank you and congratulations.
could you hear any of that? No. Okay. All right, except when I walked in the middle and walked away from the, yeah. Perfect. So, wonderful. So, we're very proud of that relationship, and they really do use us as examples and things like that. And what you didn't hear from his 5th anniversary was he said, oops, sorry, I feel like I'm hearing, look, interference coming back at me. He told us that he was super proud of us, and he echoed what Justin Fleming, our representative and alumni, and he's actually a volunteer also at the pantry. Perfect. See, it's me. It's not you guys, I swear. He echoed what Justin said, which the Hannah's Pantry is the best food pantry around. And Joe calls us the gold standard, and we just could be more proud. The effort that we put towards the making and providing the cultural foods, and the fact that, I haven't even touched on what we do for the students. I mean, this week, summer school started this week. We're providing food, we're providing breakfast for every single student, every single day of summer school. We did it last year, and we're doing it again this year. There's about 300 students registered at each building for elementary, so 600 students times 4 times a week times 5 weeks. It's a lot of breakfast, but that's why we're there. That's what we do. And kids who have full bellies are going to be better learners. And it also gives us an opportunity to reach out to those families who have kiddos in the school one more time, a little more directly, and say, do you need help at home? Do you need us to help you provide groceries so that you can provide breakfast every day of the week, not just the 4 days that we're doing it? Because we worry about those kids. During the summer, they're not getting their free breakfast and their free lunch like they're getting during the school year. So we just want to make sure that, those kids are not forgotten over summer. So I could stand here and talk all day, because you all know that this is my heart is in this place. I have built this from the ground up, and it is just this one of the best things I've built next to my kids, and But I could sit here and show you lots and lots of other things, but I know that you take feedback, so I'm happy to take some questions. I'm happy to talk about something more specific. I'm happy to sit down. So just tell me where we could go. Cheryl, you have a question?
How about you talk about the grant writing that you do and how important volunteers are for your grants?
Certainly. Actually, that's a good segue into something else I want to show you. So grants are essential to what we do. Absolutely essential. I'm going to pull this up if I can do this. Yes. So I'm going to share one of our little brochures that we have. Yes. Actually, I'm not going to show you more. Grant writing is essential to what we do. We spent $50,000 cash this past year in food to the food bank. We spent another $20,000 cash to retail food options. And I'm the only employee, and I'm part-time. So we have a huge budget, and we get very little funding from the food bank and the government, and that, as you heard earlier, that a lot of those cuts are going to go down, or a lot of those things are going to be cut. So we raised $100,000 in grants last year, and we had, I think, donations upwards of $40,000 in cash donations from the community. So that's the only way we're going to survive. And in those grants, we write things like, we had 3,500 volunteer hours last year. We have partners like Ridgeway Community Church who are giving back every single month, and their volunteer hours total to this. That we have Sue Mitchell, who I think some of you have met here. She is the chair of our board now at the pantry. She works here at the nursery school, and she lives just down the street. She's amazing, and she writes our grants. She and I are a tag team. She puts the words together. I make it look pretty, and I run the data. So behind the scenes, that's essential to what we do. I can show you one of our graphs that we put in there. That would be helpful, I bet. Does that answer enough, Cheryl, or do you want me to go deeper? What do you think? Say it again.
I was going to suggest that you say the importance of the fact that when we have volunteers, we need to write down
yes.
how many
Thank you.
hours,
Thank
because
you.
that goes into your grant, and that provides more money. So if you're helping, make sure you put your name down and the exact amount of hours. That helps for grants. So it's a continuing process.
Right. Yeah, she's absolutely right. Those hours that you collect here, they add up very quickly. And if we can show a grantee that we're asking them for money, but we are doing our due diligence on our end as an organization, that not only are we bringing funds in from somewhere else, because grantors don't want to see that they are the only source of income. They want to see that they are part of a cog. And the other part of our cog is the hundreds and hundreds of volunteer hours we have. So every time you forget to put 2 hours down, those 2 hours add up to 2 more hours, and then there's 100 hours that should be in our grant. So they're looking at the bigger picture. Grantees want to be like that last missing piece, that we have all this help around, and the $10,000 that we're asking for will put us over the edge. And that is, Cheryl's absolutely right. Every single hour counts. I'm going to share one more screen here that talks to that stuff, Cheryl. I'm going to show you, if I can get over here, find my share screen button. Oh my goodness. Now I can't get Zoom to pop up. Like I said, this is all me, not you. Oh my goodness. What I would show you is our graphs that actually have all of the stuff on it. I'll try one more flip here. Zoom won't come up on top of Adobe. Come on. I may need some technical assistance here. It won't let, there it goes. Oh, I got it, okay. Yeah, that's the kind of assistance I needed. So sorry. Okay. No, maybe not. All right, let's see if it works. Is it going to share this? Something's coming? That's excellent. That is not what I wanted to come up, see? All right, I'm going to try one more idea here. I just want the little PDF to pop up, All right, let's see if I can get this one. Why won't it pop up? All right, this is going to work this time. Cross your fingers. Maybe. Yes. Okay, very good. So here is, this actually shows you a graph in terms of families that we serve. So this is straight out of a grant that we sent in. So this graph represents 2019 to 2020, and this one is this year. So we went from serving 14 families in August up to this one is 749 here. Let me see this. 749 last month. So when grantors are looking at things, this is huge. I mean, that just talks volumes in terms of what we're serving. But the other thing is, to just give you a little perspective, is our annual food costs. So this is the other thing that we're sharing with people, that if we had to buy everything from the food bank at the food bank cost, which is reduced from the retail cost, just to provide basics over here, it's going to cost us $281,000 for the year. So, milk, we talked about 925 gallons is a higher distribution month, but it's a lot. And so all of this breaks down into what we need to show. But the letters that we send and the things that we do talk about things like volunteer hours right here. Anyway, in here, I can't find it because of the way my screen's set up now. One of the lines is there were over 600 volunteer hours served last month. So you contribute to monthly volunteer hours. So when you look at it on a smaller scale like that, if you take your volunteer hours out, maybe that's only 500 hours. So those hours count. So listen to Cheryl. Any other questions? Yeah.
Can you comment on the impact of the current political environment on the work that you're trying to do, and maybe any ways that we can help with that?
Sorry if I express myself through my face, if anybody noticed that. Yes, so it has been a challenge. We rely on food from several sources. The food bank gives us grants that are based on Department of Agriculture funds that come from the federal government. So, very, very simply, I mentioned eggs were $1 a dozen last year. We actually used to get them for free. Then they were $1 a dozen. They're not getting any more free eggs from the food bank at all. So our costs went through the roof. We started actually giving families less eggs. So we feel very strongly they get eggs every time, but instead of a family of 5 or 6 getting 2 dozen eggs, they're getting 18 now. Our families that we're getting, our families of 2 people, they get 6 eggs now. And our families of 1 person, they're getting 4 eggs now. So we've cut back. We're still providing eggs, and we feel good about that, but we can't sustain $3 a dozen for 540 dozen twice a month. In terms of food, we depend on the federal government to provide a lot of the frozen proteins that we give out, and we haven't gotten them in the last 2 months. April 1st was a cut in terms of free fresh produce. We haven't had much free fresh produce either. And milk. I order almost 200 crates of milk every distribution, and we're paying straight from Harrisburg Dairy's retail cost for that. So, it's substantial. And if SNAP cuts happen, that means we're going to have more families at our doors, and we're going to have to buy more food, which means it's a snowball. So, is specific enough? Yeah. Yeah.
What congressman should we contact? Or should we contact President Trump? Who do you recommend we contact? I think is important for us to have an impact on the decision makers.
Yeah, no, it's an excellent question. Justin Fleming, Patty Kim, all of our local legislators just need to hear more from us. They are all very... At the federal level, honestly, I think both sides need to hear this. So I think that you can be reaching out to any and all of our representatives at any level of government. This is not just at the top. This has to come from the down, from the ground up. There are some lobbying opportunities that the food bank kind of shares with us that I could share some more information specifically about who and what, and I can actually give you some words to say if that is helpful too. Yeah? Okay. Happy to do that. Oh.
I have another comment.
Yeah.
We've been doing the food pantry the pancake breakfast for about 3 years, I think. I don't know for sure exactly,
It started before
at one
COVID,
point
honestly.
I've been doing it for 3 years.
Yeah.
And the one thing I have noted is how many people recognize me and how many people I recognize. As an example, yesterday there was a car from California. And the couple spoke very limited English, but I got to the point that this was their very first time coming. So I thought that was wonderful, something we need to share, how many people come once, and then to the other point, I think they graduate from the program. In other words, we're giving them a hand up, or you are giving them a hand up. As an example, 3 years ago, a man came and he could not speak English, and the only thing he said was he needed food, which I interpreted as food. He graduated to the next year when he saw me again, bright-eyed, and say, "I have job. I work Amazon." And then the next year, he came and gave me a big hug as a reminder that I was there for him. I have not seen him, and I think maybe that's one of the best things that you can say is you give a hand up to people who need it when they need it, and they graduate from your program. I don't know if you have any statistics about that, but I think that's another aspect that can be added to why we need a food bank, to give people a chance and
That's
to
right.
get started.
Yeah.
So maybe that's maybe the most important thing we can say.
You're absolutely right, Cheryl. And actually, I wish we could do sort of exit interviews and know why people don't come anymore. You know, it would be wonderful to hear. It's because I have a job and I don't need to. But sometimes the opposite, I guess is the wrong word, but sometimes people come for a while and then they stop. And then we get sad that we don't see them, but then we get excited because we don't see them. So, you know, it's sort of like, double-edged sword. But then they come back and we say, hope everything's okay. It's hard to say, great to see you again. I mean, it is, but you know, they're obviously coming to you because they need help, and so there's something probably broke down in their lives. So it's sort of, you need to be guarded when you get excited to see somebody coming back. But we've had, in the last 2 months, there's been a lot of people that we haven't seen since 2023. And we keep track of that. So on that card that I said goes on their windshield, we have the dates that they've been there. So we can pull out and immediately know when the last time was that they were there. But you're absolutely right. It would be cool to do an exit interview, or in some capacity say to somebody, you know, if you're not coming anymore, like give us the good news, you know. So I will see what we can do about that, because some people do tell us they're not going to come anymore because they're moving or this or that, but most people just stop. And so that's a point well taken. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I'll stop talking now. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you for everything you all do. Truly making a difference here in our community.
I can't help but think it is your skills that have honed those distribution details to an amazing amount of so that so many different kinds of families get served. Thank you. And now let us go from this place as servants of God's love and peace, spreading joy and happiness.